Have you ever hit a point in life where everything just collapsed? Where your confidence wasn't just low, it felt completely gone? Maybe something happened that shook you to your core, breakup, a failure, a rejection, or a loss, or a moment where life looked nothing like you thought it would. And suddenly you found yourself at what people call rock bottom. Rock bottom isn't just a bad day. It's that moment when you look in a mirror and barely recognize the person staring back at you. It's when your self-worth feels empty and your confidence feels shattered. If that's where you are, or if you have been there, stay with me. I'm Renata Karlinskaite, a psychotherapist and hypnotherapist, and I help people rebuild self-worth from the inside out. And in this video, I'm going to guide you through a gentle and powerful way to rebuild your confidence and self-worth when you feel like you have nothing left to stand on. I'll walk you through a relatable framework I call Rise from the Valley or Rock Bottom, so you can understand what's happening inside you and begin rising again with clarity, compassion, and strength. At the end of this video, I'll share free guided self-esteem audio that you can download to support this journey, especially if negative self-talk has been loud lately. Rock bottom feels so painful because your mind doesn't just see a setback, it turns that setback into a story about you. When your plans fall apart, when someone leaves, when you are rejected, when you fail after giving your best, the brain automatically tries to make sense of it, and often the first conclusion it jumps to is, I'm just not good enough. This happens because the brain is wired to focus on threats, and one of the biggest threats we experience is to our sense of identity and worth. So when life knocks you down, the mind tries to protect you by assuming you are the problem, so you don't get hurt again. But that protective mechanism can crush confidence and self-worth. If you feel like your confidence is gone, it doesn't mean you are weak. It means you are human, and your heart has been through something heavy. And the good news is confidence can be rebuilt. Not by pretending you're okay, but by rising from where you are gently, step by step. I want you to imagine self-worth like standing on solid ground. When life is stable, you feel steady, like you can walk forward, handle challenges, and trust yourself. But when something shakes your foundation, it can feel like the ground beneath you gives way. And suddenly you are at the bottom of a valley. It's darker, quieter, and everything looks harder from down there. Rebuilding your confidence and self-worth from this place isn't about snapping out of it or forcing positivity. It's a rise, and like any climb, it happens in stages. Let's walk through them. Stage 1 is resting and regaining strength at the bottom. When you find yourself at rock bottom, the natural reaction is often to panic and force yourself to get it together. Many people rush into self-improvement mode, setting goals, making plans, trying to fix it. But when you are emotionally overwhelmed, drained, or hurting, what you need first is not action, it's stability, grounding, and permission to pause and breathe. Imagine you have fallen into a valley. You don't jump up and start climbing immediately. You sit, you catch your breath, you let your body recover enough to stand again. And emotionally, this looks like acknowledging how you feel without judgment, allowing yourself to process instead of suppress, and telling yourself, it makes sense that I feel this way right now. Because what keeps people stuck at rock bottom the longest is not the fall itself, but the shame about being there. There's nothing weak about needing to gather strength before you rise. Rest isn't quitting, it's refueling. A simple way to do this is to name what you feel, not to analyze it, just to acknowledge it. Right now, I feel disappointed. I feel hurt. I feel lost. Naming the feeling helps calm the emotional alarm in the brain so you can breathe again. Your job in stage 1 is to be kind to yourself while you regain emotional strength. Stage 2 is shifting your inner story upward. Once you have taken a moment to breathe at the bottom, the next stage isn't climbing, it's shifting the direction your mind is facing. Because the hardest part of the rock bottom isn't the fall, it's the story your inner voice tells you while you are down there. That inner critic becomes loud. You failed, you're behind, you should be further by now. You are not enough. When we are hurting, that voice feels like truth, but it's actually a story influenced by pain, exhaustion, and fear. To rise from the valley rock bottom, you don't need to silence the inner critic overnight. You just need to shift the story, even slightly, so it points upward instead of down. When you notice that harsh story in your mind, pause and soften it. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, try adding right now to the end of it. I feel like a failure right now. It reminds your mind that this moment isn't permanent. Then gently add a kinder truth like, this is hard, but it's not the end of my story. I'm allowed to begin again. This small shift opens a little space for hope. And here is a question that can help change the tone of that inner voice. If someone I loved were feeling what I'm feeling now, what would I say to them? That's the voice we want to start offering to ourselves, even just a little bit at a time. If you would like some gentle guidance to help quiet the inner critic and build a kinder inner voice, I have created a free self-esteem audio that you can download using the link in the description below. It's designed to help you soften that harsh self-talk, reconnect with your worth, and start speaking to yourself the way someone who truly cares about you would. And if you ever feel ready to go deeper, to not just manage negative self-talk, but actually reprogram the subconscious beliefs beneath it, you can explore my digital course, The Hidden Secret to Healthy Self-Esteem. In that course, I guide you through both the conscious tools and the subconscious hypnosis work that helps rebuild self-worth from the root. But for now, that free audio is a beautiful first step for this stage of the journey. You will find the link in the description. Stage 3 is climbing with small self-worth wins. Once your inner story starts to shift, even slightly, that's when the climb begins. And the climb out of the valley isn't one big leap. It's made of small self-worth wins, tiny actions that show your brain, I'm still here, I'm trying, I'm capable of rising. Examples may include getting out of bed and taking a shower, drinking water and eating something nourishing, going for a 10-minute walk, saying no to someone draining, doing one thing you promised yourself. These may seem small, but they matter more than you realize. Each one sends a signal to your brain. I am someone worth caring for. I'm someone who takes steps forward. I can trust myself again. And that's how confidence rebuilds, not through big moments, but through small, repeated proof that you are capable, deserving, and rising. Just choose one small win each day and let that be enough, because consistency, not intensity, rebuilds self-worth. If you are in the valley of rock bottom right now, please hear this. Your life is not over because you fell. Your worth did not disappear when things broke. And this moment is not your identity. It's a chapter that will one day become proof of your strength. Rock bottom isn't the place you stay, it's the place you rise from. And the version of you that walks out of this valley is wiser, kinder, stronger, and more grounded in who they are. Not because everything went right, but because they rebuilt from the inside out. If you are ready to take your first small step today, write in the comments, I'm rising. Say it for you, not for anyone else. And if you would like support with shifting your inner dialogue, especially if your inner critic has been loud, download the free self-esteem audio using the link in the description below. If this video helped you, please subscribe and share it with someone who might need a reminder that they can rise again too. You're not defined by the moment you fell. You are defined by the way you rise.